Hello there and welcome to the Handshake here on New Vision TV with me, Lynn Komjisha, and we get to talk about your businesses and your personal finances, but also the economy. So welcome to the show. With me is Paul Busharizi. This gentleman helps me understand very many things. Paul, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I was reading somewhere that the government has set up an export development fund. And it is also part of the development strategy, export development strategy, to enable small-scale enterprises, develop and rather have better products. I don't get it. We have very many funds going on.
Yeah, that's probably part of the problem. We think that our problems are lack of money. But yeah, so the export promotion fund is supposed to help. I heard the minister saying small to medium enterprises,
yes,
but exporting in general, to be able to export things, abroad. As it is, I suspect, and I think what the fund will do is help them, for example, scale up their operations.
Okay.
Maybe help them with some machinery, maybe a bit of marketing and facilitating the process of getting to new markets. That's what export promotion funds are supposed to do, actually.
Who is funding this fund?
It should be the government. The government is funding this either out of its own resources or will borrow the money or whatever means they'll need, but it's obviously a government initiative.
So is it supposed to help the normal people? Because the minister was talking about saloons, was talking about these very small things. I didn't quite understand.
Well, I missed the part about saloons because I don't know what are going to export our hairstyles, maybe.
I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, essentially the challenge for Uganda is that we don't have enough volumes of anything, maybe except coffee, and fish is now dwindling, to break into export markets. Because to get into export markets, you need huge volumes. You don't just send 100 kilograms this week and relax, and you talk about tons. So I think obviously, and she mentioned it in her statement, the initial thing is production. So she says Operation Wealth Creation is doing that. It needs to be just prioritized. Make sure we focus on the things we can export. It makes sense because it makes sense for us to be promoting agricultural exports. Either actually we should be exporting less and less raw and trying to export more processed, because this one, the processed one, you control the rate, the price. I mean, coffee, 1 year it is $1 a kilogram, next year it is $1.40, next year it's 80 cents. But if you notice on the supermarket shelf, the tin of coffee doesn't really change very much.
True.
So on this hand, when you're doing raw commodities, you're not controlling price. You really have little say on the price you get. But here you have. The challenge is, it takes a lot more hard work to break into markets with the processed thing, because you're dealing with established brands. Yeah. So
how is this supposed to help us as a country?
No, you see, to what they call export-led development is essentially what she's talking about.
Okay.
Now, the beauty of this is that if in Uganda you eat, let's just say hypothetically, you take 100 kilograms of coffee a year. But if you're to export, you might end up exporting, let's say, 1,000 kilograms. Okay. So you'll consume your 100, and there'll be 900 out for the export market. The beauty of that, of course, is that to increase, to scale up to exporting, to producing 1,000 kilograms, you have to create jobs. People have to do the work. So the export market works as a driver of job creation, not to mention, as she was saying, foreign exchange earnings, which are also important for ourselves.
Oh, wow. So this is only small enterprises. What happens to the big ones?
No, I think the fund is for 500 billion.
Yes, yes.
500 billion shillings. It's not, if 500 billion shillings is probably about $15 million. Maybe $150 million. It might not cater for very many big industries, but if you can get small guys to scale up their businesses to a level where they can now even begin engaging with banks and things, then to be a more productive thing. Okay. And not to mention that in economies the world over, it is the small enterprises that create jobs more. They create jobs and they're strong in innovation. So that's where you really want to, in that sense, it's a good idea to focus on small and medium enterprises in this direction.
I think I like the idea.
It's a good idea. We just have to hope the execution is as good as the idea.
As good as the idea.
Sometimes they talk a good game, but they can't play it.
There are very many funds. That's my problem. But, well, that's it. Small-scale enterprises, you need to focus on what the Minister of Trade and Industry is talking about, this fund. You might want to take advantage of this fund. Since it is the government that is in this, you need to pay attention, because the government, I think, is coming in to help the country, to help each one of us and create jobs, most importantly for the youth. Well, that's what we had for you today on The Handshake with Paul Busherizi. Paul, thank you.
You're welcome.